Hi everyone, it's Knitting on Our Jeans with Carolyn. I'm CPREDMOR on Ravelry and Knitting in Our Jeans on Instagram. And I want to apologize for getting the row 27 of the first lace section. We omitted a knit two together. Sorry. But I did put up the change in the directions, and I put it up on Instagram, and I put it up on here. And then I made a short video last week, again, apologizing for the mistake. With these patterns, since they're not paid for, I'm the one who's testing them, and if I mistype them, there may be mistakes, and I apologize in advance for that. If there's anybody who would like to be a pre-tester for some of these free patterns, please let me know. Either in the comments here, or if you want something slightly more private, emailing me on Ravelry on CPREDMOR, because it stays in Ravelry and then it also gets forwarded to my email. So I'll see it. I honestly will. So when you have finished the second color one section, it's like this. This is getting huge. And obviously this is pre-blocking. So this lace will open out quite a bit. But we're after that row of 92, we're going to be cutting this contrast color one and going back to another gray section for a section of early increases and later increases, and then there'll be a multicolored section and bind off. So there's still quite a lot more to go, but I have been working on that, and that is moving along. We're going to be away for Mother's Day, so I'm not sure whether or not we're going to be able to do a podcast next week. Elizabeth and I will try, but I'm not sure that that's going to happen. So I'm just letting you know in advance. Sorry about that. I had mentioned last week the allergy card, and yes, you're seeing it backward. This is the one that my niece's mother-in-law has made up, and I've made up I think 30 now of my own, and I'm taking them with us. So it means that I think eating out is going to be a lot easier out on the road. So that is excellent. I haven't been doing a lot of other knitting because I'm sure you realize that as this shawl goes up each section, the rows get longer and longer and longer. So each section takes a little bit longer. I had been working on my Princess of Odds jacket, but I was poking a hole in my finger, so I actually haven't worked on it much this week at all, and I'm not sure whether I'm going to take it with me. So I'm not finishing it in time for Mother's Day. I did finish the sleeves, so the sleeves are now down to here, and I'm just working on the body. But because there's nylon in it, it's a little tough, so I have to see if there's room in my my craft bag, to put that in, because it's knit a roll, purl a row. It's something that's easy to do, and you know, maybe I'll find a way to stick it in. I've got some of those pat flat bags. That's an idea. Squeeze it into one of the pat flat bags and put it in my craft bag. Anyway, we went out to dinner with Elizabeth Ben on Friday night down in Brooklyn. Exactly where, I couldn't tell you. Oh, no, it was Queens, Long Island City, as I remember the instructions. And yes, because we came off at Van Dam and went north. So Long Island City, lovely place. She, S-H-I. And I got seated so I could see the lights of Manhattan. It's funny, we had been down in that area for my niece's baby shower 5 years ago, six years ago. And I was in a knee brace then. There's a U-Park-It, or a self-park parking garage about a block and a half away that's really quite accessible, and they had plenty of room, so that was nice. And there was an elevator, and dinner was lovely. It is an Asian fusion restaurant. We had a great time. We really did. And I wore my new dress. So my birthday dress was finished, and I wore it, and I loved it. So really had a wonderful time. until we come to some, probably the end of physical therapy, I have to get my knee replaced with this knee. I can't go places where I have to use the subway because this knee just blows up if I'm on it for very long at all. Anyway, joy. So I've got an appointment with the MRI people when we get back to look at some of the tissue and see what's going on. So we are following the path and not going to wait as long as we did with the first knee because I don't think this knee is going to get better. Anyway, the other thing I've been doing is working on my Christmas angel. So I've actually started working up her skirt up the side. So I'm working on the colors to fill in this hem pattern, and then I'll fill it up to here, and then I will go that way so that we can see kind of the totality of the dress. I'm not taking this with me. I've been working on it for so long, I don't want to lose any of the pieces. I did, however, buy, let's see if I can find a picture. Yes. For myself, I bought a couple more kind of cross-stitch kits. Of course you do, because obviously I finished this one. No. So I bought this. Yes. It's a fairy or an elf of some description. Wintertime fairy. So a fée d'hiver. And I have started gridding out the fabric. So I will, and these are spaced 10 rows apart, and then I will turn it 90 degrees and do 10 rows apart this way, so it'll make boxes of 10 by 10 squares. And then I can start on that. And I'm going to take the whole thing with me. I've got my stretcher frames, and I got smaller stretcher frames than I've got for my Christmas fairy, so that it'll be easier to hold. And since this is a newer kit, all of the threads are coming pre-sorted. They're not sorted in the Christmas Angels. You have to go through and figure out what color do they mean by dark red, and what's coral, and what's red, and that kind of stuff. This is all set out, and the numbers are all there, and I think that's going to make it a little bit easier. I think it's going to make it a lot easier. So that's really delightful. So I'm looking forward actually to working on that. And I can see my sunglasses at the bottom of that bag, so I have to remember where my sunglasses are. Anyway, so my knee is moving along. We're keep following a pace, doing what they say to do. That doesn't work. Okay. Next is an MRI. My car is working fine, so that's good. I've got a small list of things to do tomorrow in terms of, little projects to make sure, call this person, call that person, make sure that appointment's all set up. And then, I think we're pretty much ready for getting the car and driving, so that'll be fun. That's about it. We're supposed to be in for some rain showers both today and tomorrow, so we'll be driving in the rain, not a problem. And yeah, I can't think of anything else. But seriously, if anybody wants to volunteer to be a tester or pre-tester for some of these free patterns, because I think if you like it, I'll keep coming up with patterns that we can, or projects that we can do, where we post, like a mystery knit along, and it's something else that you could be doing. Anyway, please let me know if you're interested in being a pre-tester. Let me know if these mystery knit alongs are any good, that you're interested in them. The only reason I don't put the whole pattern out is I work up kind of a preliminary shawl, and I see how it's going to go, and I work out numbers, but I did not knit the entire shawl in advance. I just didn't do that because I'm not really a shawl wearing person. Obviously, I start knitting a lot more shawls, I will become a shawl wearing person. But I didn't do that. And with the row 27, there was, I just omitted a knit two together from the pattern. And I hate disappointing people. Anyway, I'm going to go, and I'm actually going to work on my Christmas fairy. And because I'm not bringing it with me, whereas I am going to bring the shawl with me. And I can work up that next main color section. And I'm excited to see that. And then the last one I think will be a lot of fun. Anyway, I hope you all have a good week, and we'll see you soon. Bye-bye.